Help me out, guys. It seems like everybody is perfect, and I am just, wow, ridden with imperfection. You know, when I came back from Taiwan a couple years, 17 years ago, I think, 15, 17, one thing I learned about America that was different from Taiwan was America was very, very, very encouraging of people making mistakes. And that allowed people to innovate, because when you try something new, you always, your chance of screwing up is very, very high. But when I was in school in America, it seems like teachers, everybody have been very, very positive in allowing me to try new things, and then encouraging me when I do it wrong, encouraging me when I do it right, but also not beating me down when I'm doing it wrong. Whereas in Taiwan, it was the exact opposite. If you do something wrong, you're chastised, you're criticized. So it seems weird that nowadays everybody is perfect. Like when they like, if you go on Instagram or just Facebook group, maybe it's just the place I live in or something, but everybody seems to be pushing towards this perfect idea of a human being. But I personally have done quite a lot of things that I would say in today's cancel culture, I would be canceled immediately. I've done quite a lot of bad things that really, I think I wronged people, and I think people wronged me too, and I learned from it. I won't do it again, but I can't promise that I won't do anything wrong in the future. And maybe because of that, there's this understanding that I will never be perfect. I don't really go out and tell people what's the right thing to do, because when you don't do it in the future, or when you hide something in the past, it seems like it would be hypocritical. So let me know in the comments down below, why is everybody trying to say what's the right thing to do? And for that matter, it's been, you know, when it extended to politics, it kind of makes sense. You know, politicians, people look towards them to see how America or how whatever country is going to become and change. So there's this moral standard that you generally apply to politicians, and that makes sense to me. Not completely why you would want a morally perfect guy rather than a competent guy, but it makes sense. But when it's brought to video game industry, that's what kind of bothers me, because when you're doing something so subjective such as art and storytelling, I just don't see what's the point of being morally correct. And in fact, I don't believe someone to be morally correct unless they've done something morally incorrect before. You can't know something without knowing the opposite. There has to be some sort of relative comparison for you to know what its value is what. And that's been really bothering me, because especially The Last of Us 2, and how both sides fighting towards it just seems kind of hypocritical to me. But one side telling everybody that this is the right way to think, one side ridiculing someone because they're doing a way that they don't like hearing, and it just doesn't really make sense. And in my mind, like a lot of you guys know already, I don't like to think too much. So when I generally apply one thing, and then if it doesn't fit that goal, I just kind of go like, it's probably not something worth my time. And that thing is, for me, is canceling someone's opinion. If you don't let anybody speak out, whether it be right or left, that's wrong to me. If you can't talk, there won't be any understanding. And if you are talking without trying to create some sort of understanding, then you're just showing off and narcissistic. In fact, you're probably just tooting your own. I wouldn't say tooting your own. You're just, in a very, very crass way of saying it, jerking yourself off and just trying to show off how great you are. And because you're not going for understanding, you're just trying to say, this is the right thing to do. Look at me, how virtuous I am. And that really, really irks me. I don't know. It seems like a rant, but I just don't get it. It's just, how are there so many perfect beings out there? Like, these people, when they talk, they're like, I've never done anything wrong, and I will never do anything wrong in the future. Therefore, I shall preach for something. It reminds me of religion before I got to understand and realize the majority of them are fine. But the vocal minority seems to, the one that preaches the most, seems to be the one that always seems to have the most amount of problem. Anyways, I really just don't want to see the video game industry ruined because there are a lot of these moral polices. and I believe everybody has more value than what they are trying to force everybody to do. And I don't think that makes sense, but whatever. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.